broadcasting to you live from the Orion spiral arm of the Milky Way galaxy, the solar system, planet Earth, North America, the United States of America, somewhere out there. My name is Brian Engelman. Today is Tuesday, December 30th, 2025. That's New Year's Eve, and you are watching us today. Oh, it's your favorite program here. We call it Strictly Football, brought to you on the new American media because the old American media has failed you. On today's show, yes, we're going to discuss, was that or was that not a catch in last night's game? Holy crap, holy one-handed catch, not catch thing, Batman. We're also going to maybe gently take a look at what's happening in the college football playoffs just because it's all happening tomorrow. My Buckeyes are going to play the Miami Hurricanes as well as another batch of games on the slate as we try to crown a national championship. But of course, we're also going to talk about the playoffs that have already begun. Yes, it's already playoff season. It's do or die for the Ravens and the Steelers, as well as the Panthers and the Buccaneers, while a little bit of reseeding is going to be considered in the final week that we're going to discuss on today's episode of Strictly Football. It begins right now.
Hi, this is Eric Metcalf, and you're watching the Unhappy Hour.
New American Media is proud to present a division of the Unhappy Hour sports show, Strictly Football.
It's the Unhappy Hour.
Yes, welcome back, everybody. This is our post-Christmas show. Mr. Mike Bara, how was your Christmas, sir?
That was good. Yeah, I had a good time. Got some more Seahawks gear, this new beanie, and
Nice.
a few things like that. And I think we got to change the theme music next year. It's a little heavy duty. It sounds like a soundtrack from a Coen Brothers movie. So let's get something cheerier, more enthusiastic, more. I realize you're a Browns fan, so you're in a state of clinical depression for 6 months out of the year.
See, I was hearing it more as like maybe like a Pulp Fiction-y kind of surf vibe, surf rock.
Not working for me. Let's search around for some other music.
Let me see what I can do. Mr. Jim Mitchell searching around for merch. Look at you guys, swagged up in Seahawk gear.
Yeah, hey,
Oh, yeah, Sunshine Patriots, huh? Yeah.
Well, hey, at least one of our favorite teams can make it to the playoffs. Izzy, your team didn't. The Cowboy fan. Welcome back to the show.
Yep. Not making the playoffs.
No, neither are the Browns.
The Seahawks the only team out of the group that's going to be in the playoffs. They are, aren't they?
Well, I'll tell you what, though. The Cleveland Browns impacted the playoffs by beating the Steelers. So it's do or die. Like I said, 4 teams are already in the playoffs now. You win, you're in. Playoffs have begun.
Only one team out of this group of fans is going to make it to the.
Yeah, only one team made it to the playoffs.
Don't talk about
playoffs for you guys.
Kidding me?
No,
Playoffs
for you.
I just hope we can win a game.
I just hope. See, and here's the problem with me, Mike. I as a Browns fan, I want to beat the Squealers always, but I don't want to lose the draft pick. But I want to knock them out of the playoffs. Yeah. But whatever I root for is wrong this time of year. I can't win either way. What say you?
It ruined my betting ticket. Although I think I would have lost anyway because I also had Tampa Bay, and that's the end of my faith in Baker and Tampa. I should have given up a couple of weeks ago. But it was kind of a mini Super Bowl, and Shadur played okay. We'll talk about it when we get to that game. But it's like you can't root for the draft pick because you're not going to have the number 1 pick. That obviously is going to go to the Raiders at this point. So if you don't have the number 1 pick, top 5, top 10, it's all pretty much the same. Just pick a guy who's not terrible. You're good.
Well, I think that's sort of where we're at. We want to talk about was that a catch last night, but since we're already talking about the Browns, here's where we are. Jim, what did you make of this? A low-scoring interdivisional game. Steelers get throttled by the Browns, a whopping 7-point victory. But they did enough to get it done. Did it surprise you?
No, it didn't surprise me at all. But, division game. I didn't bet this game. I probably should have. I was just miserable last week as far as picks. And, we brought that up last week in our Christmas show that the last 2 weeks betting the NFL, you just don't know. I mean, it's like it's worse than week one. I mean, you'll have a better record betting week one than you will betting week 17 and 18.
Yeah, you don't know who's already got their plane tickets for Cancun, and you don't know who's like, this is my job. If I don't show up in this game, I'm going to lose my job and lose my fortune and my family and end up like Junior Seau in a dumpy condo in Oceanside, blowing my chest out with a shotgun because my wife took the kids and all my money. So you don't know. You're right. You don't know which team you're going to get. So it's crazy to bet it.
Way to spread that Christmas cheer, Mike. That was a gloomy reference. Maybe
people try to say CTE for Junior Seau. His wife took him for everything he had, including his kids, and that's why. And it's, it's like let's be honest about what the system does to men, good men who do good things and build something. And sorry, it pisses me off.
I mean, I was having this conversation with a man who's trying to get custody of his child. This morning, prior to the T-Nam Daily Show, we were talking about it. And I said, at least the system's starting to change a little bit. I think we've reached max insanity.
No social commentary on the show. Sorry, I went off on a tangent.
It's okay. You
don't know what you're going to get. And the Steelers needed this game, but not desperately. They had one more week. They could play the Ravens this week. So that's the thing Jim's talking about. Are we going to get a completely different Steelers team this week than what we got last week, Jim?
Well, Izzy, let me ask you about the team that we got this week. It's because their boy, DK Metcalf, went a little loco, and now he's out for these 2 games that are super crucial for the Pittsburgh Mike Tomlins making the playoffs again. What do you make of DK's absence? Did you watch this? Did it change your opinion on Shador? Should they have lost and kept the draft pick? Take it any direction you want.
I think going into the end of this game, I had the Browns winning. But DK Metcalf, it's huge because he misses last week with if he plays, they could have potentially won that game. And then they have a week coming up this week, which if he doesn't play and they lose, then they might lose again. I mean, they might. It's just detrimental to him and the team, what he provides to the team. As far as the Steelers, the Browns wanting to win or lose a game, I mean, Shador Sanders, he still has to go out there and improve. It's the Browns. A lot of players out there still have to go out and improve to keep a job towards the end of the season. And as far as the Steelers, I mean, what Darnell Washington's out. That him and DK are about the only 2 offensive players that are out. So.
Yeah, they're down to Adam Thielen and scraps. It's kind of weird, Jim, that they were saying after the game that it seemed like the Steelers were more concerned about not letting Myles Garrett get the sack record on him.
Yeah, I did see that.
Did you get that same vibe at all?
Yeah, that would have been another Brett Favre laydown, to let Strahan get the sack record. But I didn't have any problem with Strahan getting the sack record over Gastineau, yeah. Like we said last week, Gastineau wasn't a real likable individual, and the biggest takeaway from this game, from a betting perspective, is you look at this game and it's like the 3 of you brought up that you look at this game and you say the Browns don't have anything to play for. The Steelers should win this game because it'll give them another leg up on the Ravens as far as winning the division. But it didn't happen, did it? No. That's why betting week 17 and 18 is so dangerous. Putting money on these games. And T.J. Watt was out. And the margin for the Steelers winning a game, much less covering a spread, are a lot wider when he's not playing. I mean,
and that's on the road, outdoors. Like there's other components to it.
We had some number. It was I forget the number. It was like 3-11. The Steelers are 3-11 when Watt is out, and plus the Browns. Not for nothing, the Browns own the Steelers in Cleveland. I mean, they're 5-1 straight up at home.
Yeah, you brought that up, and it played out again. And also, TJ Houshmandzadeh has been out for the last 13 years.
Words of wisdom from Mike. TJ Houshmandzadeh.
Watt's out, and TJ Houshmandzadeh's out.
No, it sucks because now you have the Raiders and the Jets maybe taking new franchise quarterbacks. Maybe the Browns need one. You compare the Dylan Gabriel to Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur has better long down the field passing plays that make you go, wow, that's a really good play. And he has more stupid interceptions. And you go, which one is, do we have the guy on our roster that's our future quarterback?
It's just not fair. Okay. I mean, you have to give a quarterback, I think, at least 40 starts, 3-4 years before you can judge him on his interceptions and his judgments. I mean, what is this? His third or fourth start? Guess what? Rookie quarterbacks in their third or fourth start are going to get fooled by defenses, and they're going to throw interceptions, and they're going to throw bad interceptions. That's why I'm all in on the Seahawks going and getting Will Levis to replace Drew Lock next year, because you can't give up on a guy after 20 games. If you looked at Peyton Manning and Drew Brees and John Elway after 20 games, they were all terrible. They were terrible. They were like 2-1 interceptions to touchdowns. It's just not fair. So give Shedeur a chance. Stop picking on Brittany. Stop picking on Shedeur. Give him, and 20 games is not enough to judge a guy. You gotta give him 30 or 32 games at least. That's 3 years of starting before you can judge a guy. So come on, don't do that. And you're not going to be in position to pick a QB really anyway at number 6. I think there's 2 that are probably going to go in the top 5. You're not going to be there.
Yeah, that victory definitely hurt us in the in the draft position. It's painful because we were probably going to be the number 2 overall pick, guaranteeing one of the top 2 quarterbacks, because it is a position of need. Obviously, we have other positions of need, but Izzy, final word on the position of need, a quarterback for the Browns. You've watched this season, Dylan Gabriel. I mean, we don't even know the same GM and coach next year. Is Shedeur the guy? Is Dylan the guy?
Yeah, I mean, me personally, Dylan will never be the guy. Shedeur might be the guy, but they need to switch the head coaching position, and don't waste one of your first-round picks next year on a quarterback. It's just not worth it. Yeah. So just reevaluate next year. So,
all right,
we gotta say hi to Lake Leon. Lake Leon said howdy to all of us here. I'm looking at the chat here.
What's up, everybody? Yes, everybody in chat, happy to have you around. Hit like, hit subscribe, share the show with a friend. Ask us any football-related questions, and we'll try to pepper them through the program. Type your questions in, hit like, hit subscribe, share the show with your friend.
Deb is here, too.
Yeah.
Deb's from Sacramento.
Good old Deb, not from San Francisco.
Nope.
All right, let's talk about a good team here. We'll move from the Browns to the Seattle Seahawks. Thank you for beating the Panthers, because I'm still rooting for Baker to have a bounce back. I know Mike's out, but I'm rooting for the bounce back. We'll see how it goes this week. But you win by 17 points on the road in Carolina. Mike, tell us about it. What do we take away from this game?
Well, again, Sam Darnold looks shaky. This is a game where the offensive coordinator made the game harder than it should have been, because they were running the ball just down their throats pretty much the entire game. Mostly Zach Charbonnet. It was a Charbonnet game. But also, Ken Walker had some runs. And Walker had one of those games where he just makes the wrong decision on every cut. Jimmy has these games where he just there's a hole right there and he cuts that way. And you're like, what are we even looking at? That's
In
his
Cleveland,
biggest
we
problem.
call that a Trent Richardson.
Well, yeah, a Trent Richardson. I mean, physically, he's got as much talent as any running back in the league, but his vision and decision making is just terrible sometimes. And sometimes he has great games where that's not the case. But yesterday, Sunday was a case where he did do that. But they were able to run the ball really well. What did they finish with rushing? Yeah, 163 yards. Could have been more if they'd committed more to the rushing game, but a lot of passing. And Darnold he never really looked comfortable. He made a few big plays, took a few sacks, but was certainly good enough to beat the Panthers team. But the story of the game is just how the Seahawks defense just smothered the Panthers offense. Now, they don't have a lot of offense, and Bryce Young is a quarterback, but look, you hold an NFL quarterback who's a former number 1 overall pick to 54 yards, and you're playing some defense. And they're not even 100% healthy. So, I like that. It was a typical game in the sense of 10 a.m. start. You're going to start sluggish. If you're a West Coast team, it's just the way it is. It's a factor. And then in the second half, they just kind of took over and actually should have won easier than this. They made there was the touchdown drive by the Panthers. The Seahawks just got very soft. I'm not going to say what they got as soft as, but they got pretty soft. Soft as Mike Bara watching, Rosie O'Donnell. It was bad. They went really soft and they wanted to go right down the field and score. And it was like, I don't know what they were thinking on that drive. So anyway, the truth is going into this last week right now, Seahawks are the best team in the league. And you can say anything you want about the offense and the play calling and all that. Here's a couple of stats to think about as we head into this final big game with the 49ers. The Seahawks have lost 3 games this year by a grand total of 8 points. They have won 13 games this year by a victory margin of 180 points. So that's some differential. And, we beat the 49ers. We got to be the favorites to win the Super Bowl, even though the quarterback is the thing that scares me.
Jim.
Yeah, this a little bit early in the day for Rosie O'Donnell getting soft, reference, but
I was trying to think of it as soft as
we're not ready for prime time.
Should have gone Job with Job on the hot spell.
Yeah, better.
I would have gone with a blue state's stance on. I would say a blue state's district attorney, but I digress. Go ahead, Jim. Yeah,
this game opened at 7.5. Seahawks favored. It was bet down to 7, and again, this is the consummate reason that betting week 17, 18 is difficult. I mean, the Panthers needed to win this game to stay a leg up on the Buccaneers.
They could have clinched, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But now the Buccaneers have to play the Panthers this coming week.
Yep.
As all other teams, have to play division games. And that just happens to be their division game. Isn't that convenient? Where the Panthers, play the Buccaneers, to win the South.
I love it.
This game, 27-10 Seahawks. I mean, everybody's, moping and pouting on the Seahawks. They got to travel, 3,500 miles to go play a football. Gives a shit, They won the game, 27-10, right? I mean, going into this game, the Seahawks were 12-1 straight up and 10-3 against the spread on the road. I mean, those are huge numbers. Did I bet the game? No, I didn't bet the game because of the Panther factor. And that's what bettors do is they overanalyze these games. Going into
what is
the
the Panther factor you're referencing specifically? Because
they had to have the game and they had a chance to clinch. You don't know, are they going to rear their ugly head and play their best game like the Falcons did last night?
And Mike can sit there and MF Sam Darnold all he wants, but going into this game, Sam Darnold as a favorite of 6 or more points, which he was this game, is 12-0.
Oh,
yeah. Looky. Sam Darnold's now 13-0. When favored by more than 6 points.
Yeah. Okay. Point taken.
But it's still, you overanalyze the game because of what the other team has to do.
Yeah, their need shouldn't necessarily sway
Exactly.
the matchup in front of you. I don't care how needy you are.
They have to do
you
it.
know that they might be able to dig down a little deeper. It might matter more. They might push a little hard. They might care more. I get it, but also neediness doesn't mean strength. It means you're needy because you're not as
what
strong.
actually happened is that, and this is what happens with a young team that doesn't know how to win yet, that's developing a winning mentality, is in the back of their minds, they knew the back wall was actually this next week coming up, not the game against the Seahawks. And I think their intensity level was like, well, there's always next week. And when you're an average team, that's the way you think, you know?
That's the way they think, but it's not the way to think. And their road would have been a lot easier had they had beaten the Seahawks.
Oh,
and it's, again, you know, if we take anything away from these games, from a betting perspective, it's overanalyzation, just overthinking it. You know, where Mike will write down a 5-team parlay right away, you know, and he'll put it up like that. I sit there and I overanalyze it, and because I overanalyze it, you know, just to be upfront, I went 0-3 this week.
Yeah,
terrible.
You second guess yourself.
I made a 14 money line parlay and went 2-2 on it. I mean, it's just because I overanalyzed it. You know, my fault, my error. I deserved to lose the money, and I did.
Izzy, were you surprised in any way by this one, given how the Panthers needed it more?
3 words: hot and cold. The Panthers, they win, they lose, they win, they lose, and they tie up to lose this game. I'm not discrediting the Seahawks. I feel like everyone knew the Seahawks were going to win, but yeah, hot and cold. I mean, Bryce Young, he'll go and give you 250 passing yards and 2-3 touchdowns, and the next week he'll throw for 70 yards. So.
Yeah, 54 yards 54. In the air.
I think it was another week this year too. He threw for like 70 and another one for 50 again. So yeah, I mean, I don't know what happens during these games. Yeah, of course, better defenses, but I mean, every other week they show that they can do more than what they do the previous week. So yeah, I mean, this is pretty much said and done, but. The week coming up for the Seahawks, if you guys lose to the 49ers, you lose out on the first seed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
49ers get the first seed. Seahawks drop to the 5th seed. Makes the road exponentially harder. So, you know, I wish the Bears had pulled it off on Sunday night, because then it would all be wrapped up and we'd just be resting guys.
No pressure.
Yeah.
So if we drop to the 5th seed, Mike, who do we end up playing?
Well, right now, I don't know. Playoff seeding right now, we would be playing a division champion, probably the Panthers, or it would be the Panthers or Tampa Bay on the road.
Yep.
On the road is crazy, though.
Yeah, because they would win the
they're the division winners.
The Panthers or the Buccaneers.
Yeah, you know, and they're talking about that in college football too. Should you reseed after every round? You know,
yeah, and should you get a home game just because you win a division? And I don't think.
No, it's my argument in that respect is it's not their fault. Their division sucks,
or they're so tough they beat each other the hell up, and it looks lousy.
So they earn it.
Well, but you can even make the argument that between Tampa, you know, look, Tampa and Carolina, neither one of them should be in the playoffs.
So conversely, you can argue the fact is, you know, and it doesn't happen often, but it does happen. 3 teams from one division go to the playoffs.
Yeah. AFC North 2 years ago with the Browns and the Steelers. And who was that?
I think the NFC East also had that one year as well.
Yeah, and NFC West this year. Everybody goes to the playoffs except
every team in the AFC North was in the hunt with the Burrow Bengals and the Ravens with Lamar, and I think the Steelers.
And then I think the NFC West as well when the Rams won the Super Bowl. The Cardinals were there. I think it was the Rams, Cardinals, and a Niners, something like that.
Well, let's
I don't remember.
stick on with the hot and cold, the three words Izzy gave
guys,
us.
just to let you know, if it wasn't for the division thing, the Lions and the Vikings would both still be alive for a playoff spot this week.
Yeah.
And it would be, those games would matter. The games they're playing would matter. So if you're going to play 17 weeks, 17 games, maybe you should think about changing the way the playoffs are done.
Playoffs.
And
Well, how unfair was it when the NFC Central had 5 teams in which included the Buccaneers, the NFC Central. I mean, they had 5 teams, and there were other divisions that only had 4 teams.
That was back before Reconstruction.
Yeah, that was back prior to the Texans coming in and
2002.
The Oilers restructuring and going to Nashville. And
I was making a Civil War reference there.
An antebellum reference. AFC. All right, let's go back to hot and cold here. Izzy?
Hot and cold, it's looking like the Buccaneers are going to lose next week if you play up to that. So
because they lost to the Dolphins. Well, you did the hot and cold, so you think they're going to lose. Mike, do you agree? Do you concur?
Yeah, well, we'll talk about this on Thursday, but I think the Panthers are going to.
So is it that the Dolphins are getting their act together halfway through the season with Quinn Ewers making upgrades there, or it's just the Baker Mayfields are falling apart? After the injury, Baker's been a totally different quarterback.
Tampa's falling apart.
Yeah, they're a 3-point favorite right now over the Panthers.
Is that in Carolina?
No, it's in Tampa.
That might be a bet I would take.
Okay. Well, I've seen Baker as the pre-shoulder injury Baker and post-shoulder injury. More interceptions. He's trying to force it. We saw this in Cleveland. He's just injured. But they only got 53 yards on the ground all day. Bucky Irving, 19 yards, led the team in rushing. 19 yards. 0 running game. You can't blame all of that on Baker. But, that's the world we live in. Jim, anything surprise you about this?
No, not really. I mean,
all right. Well, we all know what to expect. Some underachieving teams. I guess the Panthers are overachieving, but the underachieving Buccaneers.
Yeah, I mean, the Panthers to be, what are they? 7-8, 8-8, playing for a playoff spot. Nobody thought they'd be in this position, so good for them. Dave Canales has done a pretty good job.
Yeah, I would say so. You know what? Let's bounce over. I'm just kind of grabbing them as I'm seeing them here. I could make segues 100 places, but we said we should ask: was that a catch on last night's game? Can't play the clip, or else they'll flag it and demonetize it and throw this into the spin of history.
Side window, little itty bitty window.
We can share it on X. Make sure you're following Mike at seahawkboymikeb and Mike Bara 333, as well as the Unhappy Hour and TM Football. We'll share that out. But this was a one-handed gem of a catch, tippy toes, twisted, and the ball did move out as he was going down, but he still maintained a one-handed possession through the ball kind of getting away. I don't know. We're overthinking and over-legislating what catches are. That was a catch. But it was a catch.
It was a catch, and I was not rooting for the Rams, but I'm like, fuck me, he caught it. I mean, that's what I was thinking.
Just as a fan of
catch. And again, what are you even looking at to overturn that? They said the ball moved. I didn't see it move. I mean, he had it tucked right there.
The second angle it moved.
He had it clamped.
On the second angle it moved. He had it clamped, and when he was coming down, then his hand pulled it, and then the ball came out of that cradle, and then he gathered it again. But by that point, his tippy toes were not touching.
We're up in the air.
Let's go conspiracy on this, guys. This game opened at 8.5.
Oh,
it was bet down to 7.5. I lobbed in a phone call last night to Mike. He didn't answer the phone. He was on the phone long distance with somebody else. He calls me back right away and said, and I wasn't even watching the game, but I had already hit the game. I saw the 7.5. I went ahead and hit the 7.5. Let's go conspiracy on this, guys. They did not want the Rams to cover that number. the Falcons were going to cover that number. The Sharps, the Sharps were betting the Falcons, and that's why the number went from 8.5 to 7.5. And when I was sitting there watching the game after I got off the phone with Mike, and he caught that ball, this was Dez Bryant in the end zone.
Catch of the year. Odell Beckham over his head.
When they started arguing this horse shit, you know, is it a catch? Is it not a catch? Come on, trust your eyes.
You know, I don't like competing against Puka Nacua. I wish we had drafted him. I think he's a bit of a weirdo, and I think he's going to crash and burn at some point. He's one of those character guys. Oh, I see what you're saying. The defender had a hold of his arm and pulled it just off the ball, but
and then the ball left the cradle.
It looks like the ball was still tucked in here. I mean, if it's 99% a catch, to me it's a catch. And the thing about these calls, these little technical calls, whether there's something behind it like gambling numbers or something or not, is look at how many fantastic plays they have robbed us as fans of the last few years, the last 5, 6, 7 years especially. That's a fantastic play. And it deserved to be celebrated.
Yeah.
Even though I didn't want the Rams to tie it and I didn't want the Rams to win. And I'm just sick of that. I'm sick of that aspect of this. Because to me, I mean, it's the old thing. I think if you gathered, you know, if you get 20 guys, the old argument, 20 guys in a bar say it's a catch, it's a catch.
Well, let's ask Izzy, the close to 20 something, not in a bar. Was that a catch?
Yeah, originally it seems he had possession with one hand of the ball when both his feet were down, but after he lost possession of it. So I mean, yeah, originally it seems like a catch, but after his feet are up and it seems like he's out of bounds, wouldn't it be like a fumble out of bounds or something if it was a catch? So I mean, we don't know.
When he caught that ball,
yeah,
his glove was white. He caught that ball. He had a kung fu grip on that motherfucker.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He had possession of it, and both his feet were down.
He was controlling it, just like Mike is controlling hecklefish.
Yeah.
And then here's what's happened. What happened is the defender pulled his arm out like that.
Yeah.
But I say from what I see, he still had it tucked right here, even though this arm was pulled out like that. It was still tucked there. So I don't feel like he ever lost control of the ball ever.
No, he didn't. He had it. It's like he had. Who was the team that used to use Stickum all the time? And
the Raiders.
Raiders, yeah. There was a Fred Bolitnikoff. You know, he used to have that shit dripping off his uniform. I mean, he had it up like this, and the ball stuck to his hand.
Yeah,
that is control. And then he brought it in, and then the camera pans down to his shoes, and he's dragging, and the astroturf or the grass is flying up, you know, as he's dragging his feet.
And then the play before, did you guys think that deep pass was a pass interference or no? Not at all.
I thought you could have called it that way.
Yeah, either way, yeah.
Guys grappling, and to me, there wasn't enough there to call that pass interference. That's close, but not quite.
Well, the Rams dropped this one to the Falcons, 27-24.
Yep. One thing too, they're saying that the betting odds they're favoring Drake May to win MVP now after Matthew Stafford's game yesterday. Me personally, his stats this week are padded against the Jets, just like the week before with the Jaguars. But at the same time, I mean, Matthew Stafford still does have better stats than Drake May. But there's a lot of people and a lot of news sources that are banking on May to win at the moment.
Yeah, it's interesting because, you know, last night to me, you could see why I say when the Seahawks play the Rams, I want to see them bring a lot more pressure on Matt Stafford because like all quarterbacks, he's not nearly as good when he's under some duress, right? He's just not that good. He's not. It's not like, oh, you blitz Matthew Stafford, you're going to get tortured the way Mahomes and Russ and guys like that could do it, and Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. I mean, they saw every blitz and they tore you apart if you tried to come after them. Stafford's not like that, and to me, I think you saw yesterday why I don't. I mean, when people talk about Stafford as MVP, I'm like, I saw him play live. You guys didn't see him play. I saw him play live the first game against the Seahawks. He's not that impressive. He's a fantastic thrower of the ball. And if you said to me, hey, guess what? We'll trade you Matt Stafford for Sam Darnold, I'd make that deal, absolutely, even though I'm not down on Darnold. But MVP, I mean, I guess because there's nobody else that you can really give it to.
Yeah, it's just a number. It's just a numbers game at this point.
But I don't. I mean, I came away. I came away from last night not that impressed with the idea of him as an MVP. And the same thing with Drake May. I see a young, developing quarterback with a super easy schedule who, like you say, is padding his stats. And remember, in Detroit, you know what they used to call Matthew Stafford? They used to call him Matthew Pad Your Statsford, right? That was his nickname in Detroit. So, I would prefer, I think it was better when we had Jonathan Taylor and JSN and even Nakua in there for MVP. It's obviously going to be May or Stafford, but I come away I'm that enthusiastic. I mean, I look at Drake May's ceiling and I don't see Peyton Manning. I don't see Tom Brady. I maybe see Justin Herbert and Joe Burrow. That's kind of what I see. So,
well, let's get to Drake May here on the next game. Mike, by the way, getting a comment lately on Fish Lives Matter. You held up Hecklefish. Didn't I see you do something with that show? Were you on that show or something? I saw.
Oh yeah, well, I've been on it. They've used clips of me on numerous occasions.
Mike was a writer on that show,
and I did write 7 or 8 episodes.
What is the name of that show?
The Y Files.
The Y Files.
WHY, starring AJ and Hecklefish.
Good show.
The moon landing was fake. So that's cool. Yeah, I saw you recently post something about it. I'm like, I've never seen.
Yeah, they got millions and millions of views. So,
all right, let's bounce over here to Drake May, one of his targets, right? Stephon, where's this story? Hang on,
Stephon Diggs.
So he's facing strangulation and assault charges now. New England Patriots star facing serious charges, according to Boston 25 News. Felony strangulation or suffocation, misdemeanor assault and battery from an incident on Tuesday, December 2, the day after the Patriots thrashed the New York Giants on Monday Night Football. So it was an incident with the chef, I guess. Mm-hmm. I mean, how is that going to impact things? Start with you, Mike.
With a chef? Well, if it was with a girl, I'd be suspicious.
With a candlestick in the library, it was the chef.
With a chef, that's not a good thing. So I mean, I think I think it probably calls for at least a 1-game suspension.
Yeah, they said the NFL is looking into suspend him.
Yeah. Oh, but there's more. It's a female chef. Disturbing allegations of violence against a woman who claimed to be Diggs's personal chef.
Oh,
that changes everything. That's
well,
not
then where did it take place?
Denied allegations. Everybody's innocent unless proven otherwise. I'll say that forever. Scheduled to be arraigned Friday, January 23, just 2 days before the AFC Championship.
Okay, but wait a minute. Was this in a restaurant, in public, or was this in his apartment or her apartment or something?
Great questions. The lawyer says they did not occur. So let me make it crystal clear. He says, developing story. I don't know. Diggs and his girlfriend, rap star Cardi B, welcome to baby boy in November. So all these stories.
Look, I mean, not to make this the kink show, but this is starting to smell a little bit. Look, I defended Deshaun Watson. I'll defend the other guy, the kicker that got accused by.
Oh yeah, the punter. Yeah, I know about that one.
The guy whose career ruined. I'll defend the kicker for the Ravens,
Justin Tucker.
Justin,
Tuggy.
because And Jim's a cop, so Jim can speak to this more than I do. We don't know what happened. If this is one thing where he choked her in public at a restaurant because he didn't like his spaghetti and meatballs, that's one thing. But if this is is he? You know modern women, you know girls. I know girls. I suspect that this is somebody looking to get paid.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of cases today where a woman will just go out and say just a blatant lie just because they're trying to get something to humiliate you or other reasons that they know themselves and not nobody else. But yeah, I mean, it might be that, but they do say it's a personal chef. Maybe they had a feud against each other. I don't know. Well, that could have been, but yeah, I mean, it's not looking good for him. Of course, the NFL, they do suspend most of the time with or without evidence just because it's an allegation.
Yeah,
it's not cool
with the Me Too thing. And the problem is, if I'm a guy, if I'm Stephon Diggs, and I didn't do this, or they were in the sack and she wanted him to choke her. Who knows, right?
I have more details.
Got out of hand. Who knows what the situation was? But if I'm him, it's like, as long as you keep it private, then we can talk about me giving you a little scratch to shut up. But
I mean, that's usually how it goes down.
Once it goes public and it affects my career, I'm fighting it. I'm fighting it all the way to the Supreme Court. Jim?
Before we do, real quick, we got Lake Leon saying, "Dang, it's safer to play football than to be a chef."
Chef, yeah.
Well, the Obama thing too, but we'll talk about that another day.
Oh no.
Is this chef employed by the Patriots?
Well, here's what I got. The current allegations: when December 2 at the Diggs residence in Dedham, Massachusetts. Details: woman claims Diggs entered her unlocked bedroom, slapped her across the face, choked her, placing his arm around her neck and elbow, or placing his arm and elbow around her neck, restricting breathing, and threw her onto a bed. She alleges this stems from a dispute over unpaid wages she believes she was owed for a week in November. She also claims Diggs later demanded she sign an NDA for further payment. The woman initially hesitated to press charges, but proceeded after alleged contact, discouraging her. So that's a little bit more.
I don't know. Me personally, I mean, him and Cardi B just had a baby. I don't know how much of a.
Imagine that.
Yeah, I don't see that really happening after that. It might just be her, Cardi B, saying, "Oh, I don't want another woman in the house cooking for you. We just had a baby. Some blah blah blah." He might try to fire, but me personally, I don't see that happening.
Yeah, I'm very innocent unless proven otherwise. Jim, what do you make of this? Because, obviously we're talking past the sale. The Patriots have to make it to the AFC title game to begin with, and that's not a guarantee. But this is a huge deal for the number one receiver, on a team fighting for it.
Guys, I think we had this at the beginning of the season. All right. Stephon Diggs, he's a mercenary. He goes from one team to the other. And what's the reason?
Because nobody likes him in the locker room.
Yep.
That's category A.
Mm-hmm.
He's trouble. He can't keep
common
his mouth
denominator.
shut. And this, do you believe the woman? The first thing legally, the first thing that's going to happen here is they have to establish what type of relationship these two people had.
Mm-hmm.
If they cohabitated at all, it's accelerated to felony battery domestic, which is an additional enhancement. What Mike says is true. Now, depending on the state that they live in, she could go through with this, and if there's a conviction or not a conviction, depending on what type of state, she can come back over the top like the free state of California. No offenses, but there are additional things that you can do depending on the state that you live in. Now, I'm assuming this occurred in the free state of Massachusetts, which is just as bad, if not worse, than California. She can come over the top and sue him civilly after the criminal trial is done, even if he's incarcerated. She can come back over the top. See O.J. Simpson. You know,
Right.
the family came back over the top, sued OJ, even though he was acquitted on a murder one, a double murder.
Yeah, but I mean, I think in OJ's case, he was clearly guilty. In this case, I don't know what the situation is.
Yeah, but
I tend to look. I tend to this Me Too environment. I don't believe.
the common denominator here, guys, is Stephon Diggs.
Yeah.
The common denominator is Diggs' family. Also, unfortunately, this week, Trayvon Diggs has been cut from the Dallas Cowboys, the leading interception leader for the past 3 years. The Cowboys have released him. I'm not so much sure of they parted ways. Probably due to Diggs him not playing a lot this year, playing horribly when he does play, and off the field issues as well. He has multiple children with multiple different women. That's his personal case. But
the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
yeah, and
New England receiving, he led the team in targets with 6. He had 100 yards, 101 yards receiving, and a touchdown. So, you know, it's something to keep your eye on. Just like when DK Metcalf goes bonkers. You know, these people, you're playing with fire when you can't really trust them to be professionals and have their shit together in the off the field.
I cannot say what I want to say.
Well, let's move on from it. Do we have anything to say about this game? 5 touchdowns is against the Jets.
It's the Jets.
Drake May looks great. It's the Jets.
All right.
It's the Jets.
And anything super interesting on this, Jim, or should we bounce?
No, it's a division game. This game was 13.5 Patriots. I had this on my parlay. This was one of the games that I won on the parlay, but unfortunately the rules of the parlay is you've got to win all 4 before you cash any money. So, you know, this was a correct pick. Patriots just overwhelming, 8-1 against the spread, you know, versus the Jets. Why wouldn't you bet them on a money line? 7-0 and 6-1 against the spread on the road were the Patriots. 21-6 against the spread when they're a double-digit favorite. It goes on and on and on. And there was nothing redeeming to say about the Jets. I mean, the Jets 1-12 straight up versus a team with a winning record. So, you know, the Patriots have the Dolphins. You know, the fair weather Dolphins coming into Foxborough this week. We'll talk about that on Thursday. That was a plug, guys. Thursday pick show.
Yeah.
So
yes, that was a plug for our Thursday show on Strictly Football. Myself, Mike Bara, Jim Mitchell, Ez'Ryel Robinson. That's Strictly Football Thursday, 3 p.m. Eastern.
But the Patriots were going to win this game. It was just a matter by how much were they going to win this game? So,
yeah. Well, Izzy brought this one up. He said the brother O'Diggs has been cut. Let's get to it since it's on the schedule there. You got to win. Did it matter? What'd you learn? Anything?
It was the same situation as last year. The Cowboys were out of the playoffs significantly, and we still beat the Commanders at the end of the season. It lowers our draft position, of course, but I mean, it's whatever.
You know, this is an interesting move. To me, when I see this, what I think is somebody called the Cowboys up and said, look, if you don't want Trayvon Diggs back, we'd like to have him for the playoff. Tell you what, if you cut him, we'll make you a deal for, you know, we'll take some guy off the bottom of your practice squad in the offseason and give you a 7th round pick for him. I think some of that stuff goes on behind the scenes. It doesn't make any sense to cut a guy before the season is over. Let's see who picks him up.
Because, he has to clear waivers before he becomes a free agent.
Well, you do, unless
and who was there was somebody that recently got onto waivers, but then he got.
I think if you have 4 years in, I think it's 4, it might be 6. You don't clear waivers. So Trayvon Diggs, I don't know, he may or may not be a waiver guy, but sometimes, you know, I think that's what's going on with moves like this. So let's wait and see who picks him up.
Jim?
Yeah, this game was all over the board as far as betting. This game opened Dallas 6.5, which would make the Redskins a home dog. it went to 7. It was quickly bet up to 7.5, and it went to 8.5 just prior to game time. Now, depending on where you had the number, you either cashed a ticket or you lost your ticket miserably. If you had 6.5, you cashed your ticket because the game landed 30-23. So that was a 7-point spread. If you waited till the number went to 7, you got your money back, on a straight bet. But if you waited past that, you lost miserably.
Mm-hmm.
We knew the Cowboys were, at least I knew the Cowboys were going to win the game. I didn't put them on the money line. Prescott 20-3 straight up versus his own division, 32-13 against the spread versus the NFC East. 31-14 is a favorite of 6 points or more. These are all Prescott numbers when he starts. And the most glaring stat in this is that the Redskins were 2-12 straight up versus the Cowboys when Dak starts the game. 2-12. That's a good money line number.
Yep.
By the way, the player I was thinking of was Darius Slay. The Bills claimed him off the waivers from the Steelers.
Yeah, and Trevon Diggs is going to have to clear waivers. I just read that.
Is this the same Darius Slay that played for Detroit?
Yeah.
And he's contemplating retirement. He doesn't want to play in cold weather Buffalo late in the season. I don't know. He was trying to get back onto one of the other teams. So,
So can the Patriots pick up Trevon Diggs or like during the waiver process, or does he have to clear it fully and become a free agent?
No, they can claim him on waivers.
Okay.
And if nobody else does, he's their player. But after what happened with Stephon, I kind of doubt the Patriots are going to pick him up. I got a feeling this is some other team that kind of nudged the Cowboys. Hey, do us a favor and we'll make some BS trade, after the new league.
Stephon Diggs got all his money from that. Remember that catch he made? I think it was the last game of the season. The Vikings got into the playoff. Yep. He caught that. It was a magnificent catch, and he just danced down the sideline, the right sideline.
It was a miracle catch, yeah.
Yeah, he threw the football in the stadium. The game was over. It was a walk-away touchdown. He ripped
his
off
helmet too, I think.
Ripped off his helmet. Well, the game was over. They weren't going to get.
If it were the Browns, they would have called a 15-yarder. They would have made him.
And transposed it to the next game that they had to play.
Yeah, they would have found a way. We keep talking about the Vikings and the Lions. We keep talking about Slay and, Adam Thielen. I was going to reference with the Steelers, but Vikings beat the Lions. I mean, are we surprised the Lions fell off this hard, Mike?
Did y'all watch that game?
Yeah, I watched
it.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
They looked awful. A lot of it's, people say that they lost their coordinators. That hurts, when they're really good coordinators. And Ben Johnson, look at the job he did with the Bears. He's a good coach, and it's hard to replace that. And maybe, to me, this is just a write-off season. But again, if it wasn't for the division winner automatically gets in the playoffs thing, this game would have mattered, and both these teams would still be in it, or at least one of them would still be in it. So yeah. I don't know. I don't feel like the Lions need to do a major restructure here. I think they just need to keep adding good players to the team, especially on defense, and go out and get a better offensive coordinator to really take advantage of the players they have. And they'll be back in the playoff hunt next year. So,
Izzy, you watch the game, you're chomping at the bit to talk about it. I mean, I can just say this is fantasy football championship week. I was out in all of my leagues, unfortunately, but I mean, when you have Justin Jefferson, 4 receptions for 30 yards, it's insane. And that two-sided Detroit Lions rushing game of Gibbs and Montgomery only gets you a total of 68 yards. That's a strange game on both sides. What did you take away from it?
All right, I saw a thing that said that Max Brosmer is the first quarterback to throw under 70 yards to get sacked 7 times and not throw a single touchdown pass and win a game.
He's setting new marks. Yeah, 9
Yeah.
of 16, 51 yards total. In
51 yards. He got sacked a bunch. The offense wasn't going, but man, yeah. As far as the Lions, I mean, they beat themselves up. They had 3 fumbles and 2 interceptions. It's hard to win a game when you turn the ball over 5 times. It's really hard to win a game, and the ground game really wasn't there for them. But at the same time, it's like they have pieces in their air which they can go to, and the Minnesota defense was just better that day, I guess.
Jim?
Yeah, this was the Thursday afternoon game. This game opened Monday at Lions -6, making the Vikings a home dog. It was quickly bet up to 7, and it was again bet up to 7.5. So the money was coming in on the Lions in this game. It was, the statistics said it was all Lions, but then again, the last 2 weeks of the season, you never know what's going to happen. Going into this game, Lions were 14-2 against the spread after losing a game. They were 16-1 straight up after losing a game. If you had the money line on this, and it was kind of 50-50 as far as these two teams playing each other straight up. The Lions were 2-3 straight up versus the Vikings the last 5 years, and the Lions were 6-5 straight up just versus the Vikings home and road. So they play each other kind of 50-50. The big factor here was, like Izzy came up with, was Max Brosmer. You don't expect the Lions to lose to somebody that's played 2 NFL games so far.
Yeah, and
in
played
his
very
career.
badly.
you just don't. And what Mike says, that they got to stop. They got to stop hiring in house. For offensive coordinators, they need to go out and get somebody. Because 4 weeks ago, Dan Campbell said he was taking over the play calling duties, and essentially Campbell was calling this game.
Yeah, and they have not improved.
Campbell's an offensive coach. I mean, he played tight end in the NFL, and they need an offensive coordinator, and maybe they can bring back Aaron Glenn, because I don't think the Jets will.
Well, I just would have never picked that these teams would have a tied record heading into the final week of the season. In my mind, I had already said that the Lions were going to be a perennial contender, and just for them to totally slip out of the race is kind of astonishing to me. Speaking of slipping out of the race in an astonishing way, I was calling this earlier in the season, if you guys can remember, that the Chiefs were not as good as they have been. And it turns out I was right. I'll take that pat on the back. Yeah. Broncos get the win on the road in a nobody cares kind of game, but it matters for seeding, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, the Chiefs showed professionalism and stayed in the game. Broncos were fortunate, not lucky, but fortunate to come out with the win in the end. And Bo Nix was adequate. But, if the Seahawks got the number 1 seed, and if they made the Super Bowl and it was the Denver Broncos on the other side facing me, I'd be licking my chops. Be a Super Bowl 48 rematch. But I'd be licking my chops, because Bo Nix looks great 2/3 of the time, and then 1/3 of the time you're like, what is this guy doing? So,
Jim?
Yeah, we kind of knew that the Chiefs weren't going to. Hi, Dave. we were kind of. We kind of knew that the Chiefs weren't going to win this game, even though the numbers were leading towards the Chiefs in this game. The Chiefs were 5-0 straight up at home versus the Broncos, 17-3 straight up overall versus the Broncos. Chiefs were 12-6 straight up as a dog, and 13-4-1 against the spread as a dog. the only damning statistic in this game was that the Chiefs were 1-8 against the spread versus teams with winning records. Mike and I talked about this number, prior to betting it. There was no way we were going to lay 13 in this game. The game opened at 13. It was bet up to 13.5. So there was just money pouring in on the Broncos side, and if you took the 13 or the 13.5, you took gas. I mean, it was, they were not going to stay within that number. Final score was 20-13. Probably the best bet on this game was to go ahead and bet the under in the game, and it was the lowest over under of the week. The over under in this game was 36.5.
Lower than Cleveland.
Lower than Cleveland.
Wow. Okay.
No, I stand corrected. You are correct, Brian.
All right.
Browns opened 33.5, and they were bet up to 34.5. Look at the head on Engelman.
Hey, check out the big brain on Brian. By the way, just if you're not paying super close attention to the Denver Broncos, they got a dude on their receiving core named Lil Jordan Humphrey. I've heard of Lils in the rap game. I didn't know this is a real name people are getting. Lil Jordan.
Yeah.
Of course it is.
The asteroid can't come fast enough.
Was this the last home game of Travis Kelce's career, if we had to guess?
I would say yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying it is. I think he donates his NFL pension, to charity and walks away.
I think he goes to play one more year for a contender.
Oh, bounce it.
That's what I think he does. I think as a part-time spot player, receiving tight end for somebody he thinks has a chance to win the Super Bowl.
See, he's always talked about, growing up a Cleveland fan in Cleveland Heights, wanting to play for the Browns, but we have Harold Fannin.
I said contender.
Not a contender, obviously. So that would throw a wrench in that. We'll pass Izzy because he's not here and bounce to the Texans beating the Chargers. This was a nice matchup. 2 11-5 teams now. Houston has the edge. Heads up. CJ, 2 tutties, 2 mistakes on the day. Not a lot on the ground as far as punching it in. I don't know. How did they get this win over the Chargers? Mike, you're not a defense Charger believer.
The defense held them down, and they were very physical with the Chargers. Justin Hebert struggles again, even though he had 236 yards. It's not a bad game. But he struggles, and, it wasn't exactly a quarterback duel. But again, DeMeco Ryans, we were talking about him as a possible coaching casualty at the start of the year. But it looks to me like he saved his job. But they need to get another offensive coordinator in there because they just continue to not get the most out of CJ Stroud. Yeah. And I think he did really well in his rookie year in a Shanahan system. So go find somebody who knows how to coach the Kyle Shanahan method and for next year. But, the Texans are okay, but they're not good enough to really seriously contend with the way their offense plays. So good for them. They did what they had to do, and I couldn't believe the Chargers were 11th coming into this game. I look at them and I see a 9-7, 9-8,
a Steeler-esque kind of game,
10-7 team that somehow got 11 wins. So good for them.
Yeah, and I think that defense played a big role there. But you're right, Mike. He was on the hottest of seats, and there they are making the playoffs. And
they made it.
Imagine the Colts.
Good job coaching. Good job.
Yeah, if we would have said a month and a half into the season that the Colts and the Buccaneers wouldn't make the playoffs, you go, what? What are you kidding me? Of course they might. Of course they might play in the Super Bowl. It's a long season, people. Injuries matter. Lots of things matter. Jim.
Yeah, Texans. This is probably the weakest division in the NFL, the AFC South. This game. Mike and I talked about this game prior to putting our money down and losing our money last week. But this game, probably the only play on this game was the under, because we didn't think there was going to be a lot of points scored in this game. And we had talked about, with Justin Hebert, his offensive line is pretty well banged up. This game opened at 39.5. Vegas knew that this wasn't going to be a high scoring game. That's why they put that number up. The number actually landed on 36, being score was 2016. Very low scoring game. The Chargers opened. San Diego opened at 1.5, and they closed at 1.5 at Boyd Sports at betting time. So, there wasn't a lot of action at all in this game. The only stat that I actually took away from this game was that the Chargers were 16-6 against the spread versus the AFC. So, if you go by that, you lost money.
Izzy, it was in your backyard. What'd you think of this one?
Yeah, I thought the same thing. The Chargers O-line's pretty banged up, and against that defense, I wasn't expecting them to win the game, and they didn't win the game. So, as far as are the Chargers in the playoffs? Did they secure a wild card spot?
They're 11-4. They are. Let me get the
11-5.
playoff picture up. They are the 6th seed as of right now.
The 6th seed, and then Texans are good to make the playoffs as well, right?
Yeah, they are the 5th seed.
Let me put this up on the screen.
I got one that looks better than that.
Say it again.
I got a better one than that. I just shared it.
Better than this one?
It looks better than that one. Yeah, it's easier to read.
Oh, you shared it on your. Oh, let me pull it up here.
Take a look.
There we go. In Jigba. And
there we go.
Oh, we got them both on the same screen there. Okay, good.
So, the Texans are the 5th seed, and the Chargers are the 6th seed as of right now. And in the hunt, we still have. Obviously, we still have the 7th spot, or the fourth seed to be decided between Steelers, Ravens, and Panthers. Buccaneers.
I love that. I love those 2 8-8 teams. They're 4-8, whatever they are, like battling it out. The playoffs start a week early. It's like it's single elimination playoffs. No,
I mean that's a pretty interesting playoff picture to look at. So,
but the thing is too, one of the things you notice. Look at the Buccaneers ranking; they're 11th. Okay?
11, yeah.
So that's what's wrong with this: is the Vikings, Lions, and Cowboys.
They're better teams.
Are better teams, and they should be playing. They should have a chance to get in the playoffs. The Bucs should not be in it just because they have a chance to win the division. Just doesn't seem right to me.
Yeah.
Well, let's bounce over to one of those teams. Baltimore Ravens beat the Packers. I mean, we thought the Packers might be world beaters, right? We thought the Packers were just going to march to a Super Bowl, and wow, the Ravens, they just will not go away. Derrick Henry. Man, people, rumors of his demise were greatly exaggerated, Mike.
No kidding.
Were they not? Tell us about this game. What are we learning about the Ravens? Are they scary?
They're tough. I mean, you're going to hear a lot of people say stuff like, well, Ricky Huntley looked more like Lamar out there than Lamar has lately. And that's not untrue. So I suspect that either Lamar has lost that proverbial half step that made him special, or he's got some small injury we don't know about and they're not talking about. So you have to be very impressed the way they played. 2 backup quarterbacks facing each other. Malik Willis did a good job, not a super fantastic job, but he did a good job. And these are 2 teams that the Packers would be much better off were it not for the injuries, but they did have the injuries, so they got to get more depth. Tyler Huntley. I don't know what I called him, Ricky.
We also would have accepted Snoop.
Yeah. So Derrick Henry was the difference. The Packers didn't have a player on their side that was like that. And you got to give some credit to John Harbaugh, who got a lot of criticism last week for giving up on Derrick Henry in the 4th quarter. And he sure as shit didn't do it this week. And look what happened.
Is Derrick Huntley? Derrick Huntley. Now I'm just making
Tyler Huntley.
Derrick Henry. I mean, could he even be in the MVP race? Who knows? I mean, he's just been bonkers.
Well, I mean, yeah, in my world, yeah, but
I mean, nobody's really ran away with the MVP. You got a
I
couple
know,
of,
but remember, these things are decided by East Coast sports writers, and they tend to have a group. It's group.
no.
And it's been Stafford for a while, so that's probably it's good.
Izzy, what do you take away from this?
Yeah, I mean, Derrick Henry, 4 TDs, 216 on the ground, especially against that inner D line. No Micah Parsons on the edge, of course. No Jordan Love to go against. Malik Willis didn't play bad at all. Almost threw for 300. Only 3 missed passes, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. 60 yards on the ground and 2 touchdowns on the ground from Malik Willis. So, like we said, there's some people playing for jobs, and Malik Willis might get a job somewhere next year.
Yeah.
And
by the way, a couple of quick points here. You mentioned the stat line for Derrick Henry's 4 touchdowns. This is the fantasy football playoff.
Yeah, fantasy. Yep.
Puka Nacua. I scrolled on Puka Nacua incomplete. The list of people who won and lost their game because of that incompletion. They lost a championship or they won a championship just based on that one reception being the difference. And of course, if you started Derrick Henry in your fantasy football championship,
I'd sue Roger Goodell if that happened to me.
there's a lot of people griping about it online.
But
Jim,
2 more things.
Keep going.
Yeah, 2 more things. Shannon Sharp and Ocho Cinco. Shannon was like, man, Tyler Huntley should play over Lamar Jackson. And, he's been playing decent, but I don't believe he should. And then secondly, Tom Brady, I think he went out somewhere and said he started praising Lamar again, saying that he's still the best quarterback that he's seen since himself, and that people shouldn't give up on him and that they shouldn't slander him.
He's part owner of the Raiders, who desperately need a quarterback. Guess who's going to be offering 2 first-round picks for Lamar on the first day of the new league year?
Hey, that's respectably.
Raiders, yeah. Of course he praises it, but
yeah,
it's clear to me though. Jim, I want to get your on us too, but I just feel like I feel like Lamar has lost something.
Maybe. Either way, if you take away his rushing ability, he's shown that he's still a good passer. He barely throws any interception. He's a really, really good passer, but I completely agree with you. Even when he has been passing the ball, it's just he doesn't seem like the same Lamar Jackson.
He's lost something, and I don't really know what it is.
And of course, he got dinged up in the back. He's who knows if that aggravated an existing tweak. Who knows? It's a long season.
And that kind of thing affects your mechanics way more than people think. And and the other thing that you have to be really observant to notice is footwork is so critical for quarterbacks throwing the ball accurately. You got it. That's one thing Caleb does a lot is he throws flat off his back foot sometimes, and he's got to get up on his toes. So I don't know. But there's just something. Maybe he gets some rehab, gets a season off, and he's the Lamarville next year. But Tom Brady's saying that shit because he's basically recruiting him to Las Vegas.
Yeah, even right before Tom Brady retired, he said something about he's Lamar Jackson's the one next up after him, and some other stuff. But is he going to play next week?
That was my question.
I would think he would. Let me look. I would think he'd almost have to.
Let's have Mike look that one up while we get Jim's thoughts on this.
Yeah, as far as Derrick Henry MVP, let me do my Derrick Henry impression. It ain't happening.
Fumble Ruski.
No, he's not in there. He's hot and cold. When he's hot, he's hot. He probably flat out won that game, but the sports books took gas on this this game. This game opened Packers 2.5. It was bet up to 3 real quick. It went up to 3.5, and at game time, Boyd Sports had this game Packers 4.5, which means the public money was pouring in on Green Bay, and so were the sharps on this game. So I think the sports books cleaned up on this game. going into this game, the Ravens were only 5-10 against the spread. Going into Green Bay, I mean, even at 4.5, it just looked like a gift. Packers 21-7 straight up December, January regular season, 21-7. So Ravens just it didn't make sense. The score didn't make sense. Nothing about this game made sense. 41-24 was the final.
Yeah.
Come on. I mean, and just a side note to this, we'll have a statistic on Thursday. When the Ravens and the Steelers play, the dog in that game is a big favorite to cover the number and win the game. And right now, I think the Steelers are a 3.5-point dog.
Gotcha. Did you find an answer to that one, Mike?
There's nothing on whether Lamar's going to play this weekend. I would think he would if he can even freaking walk. He's got to do the Willis Reed thing and get out there and be a champion and carry his team over the threshold. Or is that the right analogy? I don't think so. But I will say this. I just looked it up. It's an ideal time to trade him. He's 29 years old. He's starting to miss more games. He's injured right now. He probably wants to renegotiate his contract at this point. And you can save $20 million under the cap if you trade him. So I just going to tell you, this is an ideal time to deal Lamar Jackson. The problem with the Ravens is if you do that, you don't have a quarterback.
Did you say? Yeah. Did you say he was going to start, Mike?
I don't know. Nobody knows.
We don't know yet.
I would say if he's a baller, he will. He almost.
Well, I think either way. Harbaugh trots him out. I mean,
yeah, and
it's the last game of the season, and it's the most important game of the season. He's got to play.
It's the playoffs. It is the playoffs.
If they decide to trade Lamar, I think John Harbaugh quits, retires, whatever. I think they could do something like that.
All right, well, let's bounce to this one. This was a hell of a game right here. The 49ers beat the Bears, Mike. This was a look, you're sitting pretty being a Seahawks fan. You got a nice team, a nice record, but like you keep saying, Sam Darnold, is he when it comes down to clutch time, is he really? These are some good teams with some good quarterbacks, some good organizational stability now. It feels like the Bears have it locked, like stabilized. They are a solidly good team, but 49ers just had one extra play because on that final Brock Purdy, he didn't see the wide open man to his right. He forced it in. Anyway, the point being, the Bears were walking away with the loss here, but they both played really well, and they're both going to be a force to get out of the NFC.
Yeah, both good teams. Bears are not great on either side of the ball. They're really good. They were missing Romo Dunze. They missed some of their weapons. They had 2 pick sixes in this game. Second one, I believe, was a pick six. Was called back on an absolute bullshit call. The Bears probably should have won the game. I wanted them to win the game. Obviously, it would have wrapped things up for the Seahawks without having to go down there. Other observations you can make: the 49ers offense is really good. They're like a well-oiled machine. The Bears defense is good but not great. The problem with the 49ers defense, you saw it yesterday, they can be exploited deep over the middle pretty badly. And their safeties are shit. And their corners are not particularly good. And they don't have a great pass. But that offense can put up points on just about anybody. And so they're scary. I personally wish we were playing, the Raiders at home next week, not the 49ers on the road. It's going to be a brutal game.
And that might sap something out of you for the next week.
Yeah, it's for all the marbles, and the 49ers are good enough to win. They're good enough to beat us. So, few fluky things happen. You never know. George Kittle sat out this game. My personal feeling is, he'll come back. He'll make a few plays, and then he'll be out again. George Brittle, as I like to call him. George Brittle, the tight end. And so we'll see. But it should be, they look good. They looked really good. You have to just give them that. They look good.
Yeah, they both looked all right, and it was a heavyweight match there. Of course, in the intro, I was referencing Brock Purdy missing the guy on the right side, forcing it on the left. Of course,
I would say
that was Caleb I was talking about with the Bears with that final play there.
Right. And I mean, if I was ranking NFC teams, I would absolutely rank it Seahawks 1, 49ers 2, and Bears 3, and Eagles 4, and Rams 5. And all of those teams are good enough under the right circumstances to go to the Super Bowl. So, if you get a break here and there. So we've got 4 Super Bowl quality teams in the NFC that with the right breaks can put it together.
I mean, maybe you have 5 there, or you're leaving out which one? You're leaving the Bears out?
No. I've got
Niners,
I would rank
Rams, Bears?
Seahawks, 49ers, Bears, Rams.
Not the Eagles.
And Eagles, yeah.
That's fine.
Sorry, Eagles, Bears, and Rams is how I would rank.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't know. I love this time of the year because all of these teams have proven themselves. They're all worthy of trying to make something happen and bring home a championship, Jim. Yeah, 49ers had just enough here. I hope they obviously cleared the over, right?
Yeah. This was the second highest over of the week. The over under in this game opened at 51.5. It was bet up to 52.5, and 38-42. I mean, if you had the over, you cashed the ticket. This game was probably the most evenly bet game at the sports book. This game opened at 3. It closed at 3. 3 is kind of a, Vegas is not telling you who's going to win the game when they put a 3 on it. They're more or less protecting their money, and it's an easy number to if you take the favorite, and the number hits on 3, it's a wash. The sports book isn't going to make any money, and you're going to get your money back on a one team bet. But going into this game, the Bears weren't a prohibitive favorite statistically, but going into this game they were 11-2 straight up going into this game. So if the play here was probably Chicago, as far as a betting perspective, go ahead and take that field goal and go ahead and bet the dog and keep your fingers crossed. At 11-2 straight up, that was a good bet. But, if you look at the 49ers side, Purdy was 16-7 against the spread at home. And the 49ers had played Monday Night Football the week before. And Mike brought up that stat, going into this game against the spread number, teams that play Monday Night Football, only 12-18-1 against the spread. So that would have made, statistically, that would have made the 49ers a dog in this game. But, Mike and I talked about this also. If Christian McCaffrey wasn't in this game, the Bears would have won the game.
Yeah. But he was. So
that's every game for the 49ers.
You can coulda, shoulda, woulda all you want, but the fact is that McCaffrey was in the game, and the 49ers won the game. They didn't win by a lot. I mean, they won by 4, but they covered the 3.
Yeah.
Izzy, what say you?
Off topic, my recruiter just told me that I got the spot to get sworn in by PX.
Hey, maybe we'll see you on national TV or something.
Maybe. I don't know. Yeah.
We need to find some code. Like we need to come up with a hand signal or something, or wear something, or wear some Strictly Football gear.
Yeah.
Wear a Strictly Football hat.
I don't think they're going to let him wear Strictly Football gear to be sworn in by the secretary.
Well, with that hair, I don't know. I can't get sworn in with a haircut.
Hold up
your haircut first.
Hold up a wooden Ohio coaster.
Yeah.
Yes.
But as far as the game, though, slugfest. I mean, score after score after score. Caleb Williams, I mean, he did good. Same thing as Brock Purdy, pretty much same on paper. But the difference maker is Christian McCaffrey, regardless of how good your defense is, regardless of how good the opponent's defense is. Christian McCaffrey, if he plays, he's going to get you 100 yards regardless, and at least a touchdown or two, and make some things happen in there. So at the end of the day, like with a game like this, the deciding factor is pretty much him himself, because the Niners, they don't have any DBs. The closest real mediocre one they got is Lenore, and their whole D line and defense is banged up. They gave up 38 to the Bears, but the offense has it. So
I mean,
simple as that.
Ripping Caleb like it was his fault.
No, it's not even his fault at all. No.
Give me a break there. You know, there was nobody open on the last play. The 49ers did a really good job covering that. And so, you know,
there was a guy open, but he was on the far right side, and he was waving.
It was also very quick. It was also very quick, and the read really wasn't there, and there's a lot of people between. I don't blame him for not doing that. And the other thing about Christian McCaffrey, I remember in like 1986, Howie Long, who was a Hall of Fame defensive lineman for the Raiders, he said about Jim Mitchell's Chuck Knox era Seahawks. He said about their running back named Kurt Warner. He said, "My Pro Bowl pick is Kurt Warner. He's the hardest guy to find in the NFL, much less tackle." And I would say the same thing now. That same rule applies to McCaffrey. Where is he on the field? Where's he going? I mean, Shanahan does such an incredible job of getting him open and in space and scheming him open. He's the hardest guy to find, and just finding him is hard in the first place. And then you got to tackle him. So I think the only way you really slow him down or stop him is you got to put your most athletic safety or corner or whoever it is and just follow him everywhere.
Quick question.
That's the way you stop him.
When you guys played the 49ers this year, who was that guy, or was it just a whole collective defense?
We didn't do it that way. We played pretty much vanilla defense. I'd have to go back and look at the scores, but you know, it was kind of a vanilla defense. We just wanted to keep the game real close because you remember, you know, the first week nobody knows who's who. Nobody knows who's what. Nobody knows who anybody's got. If I go in, I don't think he hurt us too terribly in that game. 22 carries, 69 yards.
Yeah, okay.
And then another 9 catches for 73 more yards. So he roasted us pretty good in that game. But you know, McDonald's schemes are based on on sort of containing everything in front of you. So
yeah, well, I mean, you got speedy guys on their defense to help out with that.
If Nick Emanwari, if he's fully healthy, his lower legs are good, I'm putting him on.
Yeah.
Or Tariq Woolen. I'm telling you know, because they're our two most athletic, fastest defenders. That's what I mean.
If Woolen could wrap up and tackle, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, that's the other problem. And that's the thing is if you do find McCaffrey, he's also hard to tackle.
Yep.
Let's talk about some other athletic quarterbacks in the league. This is a 1-point game. Eagles get the win over the Bills, who both end up 11-5 at this point in the season. Mike, what? I don't know. You're not much of an Eagles believer. I don't think you're much of a Bills believer either.
No, neither one of them. A tight game. I thought the Eagles dominated, and yet they almost gave it away at the end. They really had control of this game. Josh Allen didn't look good at all. He had 262 yards passing. Am I reading it right? But he didn't look good to me. And you know, I mean, the Eagles deserve to win the game. What I don't get is why, now that you've finally scored a touchdown on these guys, why do you just not kick the extra point? Now, they had missed an extra point earlier, I think, right? The Bills kicker had missed an extra point earlier, but why do you not just kick the extra point and try to go into overtime? It just, to me, that call didn't make any sense because it's not like the Eagles, you know, the Seahawks game on Thursday, the way the Rams were moving the ball, there was no way we were going to keep them from scoring a field goal with 3 minutes and 50 seconds left. We just weren't, and injured guys. So we had to go for 2 because it was our only shot to win the game. In this case, the Bills didn't have to do that. So why'd they do it? It doesn't make.
Yeah, especially when 2-point conversions, I think in the NFL are what, at best 18%.
Yeah, less than 50%. So
yeah, it made no sense whatsoever, especially and you can pound the table all day, and and you're going to say, oh, you're just a degenerate gambler, and you ended up buying the Bills at -3.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's a perfect number for it to go into overtime. I mean, and I'm screaming at the TV because I can actually win a ticket this week.
Yeah,
I mean, and it's one of the last games. It's the second to last game played on Sunday. And I'm looking to get even. And of course, it's a me thing. Going into this game, but. I'm screaming at the TV. Oh no, they're going to go for a 2-point conversion. There goes the ticket. I tore it up before
never do that.
Allen even missed the pass.
Never do that. The thing is, if Josh Allen wasn't one of the richest, highest paid players in the league, if not I would question point shaving because that throw was so bad that he normally makes. People are saying, oh, he had a foot problem, but I mean. The decision doesn't make any sense, and the play execution was just awful.
Yeah, if he had thrown that pass a second later, he just led the guy too much.
Yeah,
and there was no way he was catching that ball.
I'm not going to tell Josh Allen how to throw the football because he's doing it perfect, but wow, just settle your feet another step or two. You had time, and make sure you hit the guy. I played with that. That play was weird. Why were they? Izzy, can you think of a reason why you go for 2 in that situation? I can't.
Not at all. I mean, it's a close game. The defense is going to be there, but I watched the play and I'm like, how did he miss that throw? I mean, he was wide open. It was on the run. There was barely any pressure. I'm confused. But yeah, I mean, it seems like a Jim Harbaugh kind of thing, going for 2 against a playoff Super Bowl contender, if you want to put it at that. But I mean, I say take the points and try something else.
They'd missed an extra point earlier, but geez, it's an easy.
I mean, is it that they know that they're going to make the playoffs? That just try something out. I mean,
the only other factor that I can figure in this is that
playoffs. Don't talk about
especially
playoffs?
at the end of the season.
Playoffs. I just hope we can win a game.
Yeah, I mean,
especially at the end of the season, teams don't want to play overtime, because it statistically
might bang up players.
It wears out the players, but who do the Bills have to look forward to next week?
Well, the Bills,
the Dolphins,
the Jets.
Oh, the Jets.
Yeah,
the Jets. What are they worried about?
If they had won that game, they'd be 12-4. And that would make them the 5th seed, which means they would be playing either the Steelers or the Ravens in the playoffs. So they had a reason to win that game.
So based on the low percentage of completing a 2-point pass and winning the game outright and walking off the field, based on that percentage, it makes sense to go for overtime and put your best team on the field and win the damn game.
Maybe they know something about their kicker that we don't know. Maybe he's way worse than.
I don't know. I'm calling it a dead man walking prediction again.
Well, then let's bounce to this dead man walking. Giants get the win over the Raiders. I mean, it's for draft seeding, I guess, Mike.
Well, there were only 2 afternoon games this week, so I watched a lot of this game. And oh my God, what 2 terrible teams, although the Giants suck less than the Raiders. Look, let's just be blunt. There's no way Pete Carroll makes it out past Sunday night. I think he probably gets fired Sunday night. They don't even wait till Monday morning. This team is so terrible. They're so unprepared. They say, I was reading a thing yesterday that everybody in the league wanted them to take everybody in the organization wanted the Raiders to take the offensive lineman. Let me get the 20. I forget who it was over Ashton Genty, and Pete was like, "No, Genty, he's the guy." I'm trying to think of who it was.
Tyler Smith.
Yeah, Armand Membu.
Oh, Membu,
who's been great, who's been really good for the really good right tackle. And that's just an example. You don't let Pete draft your players. You don't. He did great his first 3 years in Seattle. You know why? Because we drafted guys that he had either recruited in college or coached against in college or coached in college. That's why the Seahawks, that's how they built that team for the most part, the Super Bowl teams. But after that, he's been a disaster. So, I mean, Pete's gone. Geno Smith just beyond terrible. How many? He only took 3 sacks. It seemed like he got sacked like 8 times. They got a complete from the studs rebuild, and then they wouldn't let Max Crosby play. They shut him down for the season, and so he takes videos of him shooting hoops, running and jumping all over the place, and puts it out on game day. There's a divorce happening right there. So,
oh yeah, he's gone. He's gone. Draft day or something. That guy's gone.
Yeah, I'd be surprised.
Because there was a feud. He said he wanted to play, right? Regardless of what happened. So. Yep.
And he did not look injured, and that could get the Raiders in trouble too. With the league.
That by him saying that increases Crosby's likability and team guy persona, and it would tend that another team would be more than happy, to have Max Crosby, and who wouldn't, but this game opened at it was home cooking, as far as the Raiders go. This game opened at 1.5. Raiders favored going into this game, and as soon as Crosby was announced that he was going to be riding the bench and he wasn't even going to dress for the game, it went to Giants 1.5.
Yeah,
so that's telling you Max Crosby's worth 3 points. That's a lot of points for a defensive end.
Yeah, and they won by 24. Tom.
Right? Yeah, but
I mean, Jackson Dart, you have to ask yourself, against a terrible defense without Max Crosby, only 22 completions, only 207 yards, no touchdowns. He had a rushing touchdown, I think. Yeah, 2.
Yeah. Well, talking about Geno, I mean, Geno is a miserable 7-15-1 against the spread at home.
Yeah.
7-15-1, and that goes back to Seattle.
Well, what do you guys think? I mean, is Jackson Dart the answer in New York? Or if they're sitting – because right now they're sitting at the number 2 pick.
If they can get Mendoza, they're going to pick up Mendoza.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you're the Raiders, Jets, or – yeah, either the Raiders or the Jets. I don't believe you should get a quarterback, but and it's whatever. If he's sitting there, they might take him, but it seems like Dart's a fan favorite if you put it at that. So.
Yeah.
Well, they're saying Dart's middle name is Blue Tent. He needs to go to the Russell Wilson school of sliding.
Yeah,
This guy just, he just plays hero ball too much. He took that shot, running up the sideline, and the defender said, "No, I'm not going to give you the opportunity to step out of bounds. I'm going to put you out of bounds."
He's been in a concussion protocol 5 times already his rookie year. 5 times he's been checked for concussions.
Yeah, so, we got.
Not going to last.
I don't want to be rude or anything, but once Cam Scadaboo gets back, we're gonna have a Dumb and Dumber in the backfield for the New York Giants next year.
Brain damage. Yeah.
So you're saying there's a chance?
Yeah.
I mean, don't you think if things stay the same way, number 1 overall pick, I think the Raiders are taking Mendoza. I think Tom. I don't think there's going to be any of this Eli Manning, John Elway stuff. I think that Tom Brady's going to talk Mendoza or whoever into Vegas, into Las Vegas. You're going to be our quarterback. So I don't think Mendoza slips to the Giants. So there's probably not going to be a consideration anyway.
The only advantage to going to the Raiders is that he's going to get a pay bump because he's not going to be given 50% of his salary to the state.
To the state, yeah.
No state income tax in the state of Nevada.
That's right.
Yeah. Whereas if you play in the free state of California, you're given 50% of your salary.
Off topic, did y'all see the lady who won the Powerball?
Yeah.
What was the payout, like 1.5 billion? She only got like 400 or 500 million.
She got 468 million, and the state and the government took
Woe is me.
$1 billion.
Cry me a river.
Wild.
Yeah. I mean, look, let's complain about
It's
it.
both. It's equal parts Cry Me a River, and holy shit, why are you getting robbed of 70%
Remember,
of everything?
gambling winnings in the state of Nevada are tax exempt. Do not forget that.
Whew. Yeah, that stuff does matter. Hey, here's a state where they might get rid of at least the property tax. Cincinnati, Ohio Bengals. They get the win, 37-14. Burrow, 305 yards. I mean, teams that aren't going anywhere this season, Mike, but
not much to say about this game. It went according to plan. Joe Burrow's good. Cardinals suck. The only question that comes out of this game is, where is Kyler Murray play next year? That's it. That's all I got to say about it. Where is Kyler Murray going to end up? I think a Tua for Murray swap, it can happen under the cap. It makes sense for both teams.
I guess if you want to tread water and end up exactly where you started, it could.
Well, but
maybe a fresh start for both would be helpful.
But Tua in a warm weather environment in a dome, not playing.
Well, they're good. I mean, a decent head coach. I mean, they could help.
I mean, I don't know.
I'm not so much sure about Kyler in Miami, but I mean, he's a competitor. Yeah. Call of Duty's not around, but
Call of Duty.
Good Call of Duty reference right there.
Yeah.
Jim, any thoughts on this one?
Yeah, Mike talked me off this game. I kind of MF Mike.
In retrospect, yeah.
I was going to bet this game straight. Just a one team on the Bengals. Go ahead and lay the 7. This opened at Bengals 7. It pretty much stayed 7 all week. Final score 14-37. Monday morning quarterback. Is 100%. But going into this game, it just screamed Bengals. Joe Burrow 8-0 straight up, week 16 through 18. Burrow is now 10-2 straight up in his last 12 games. And the Cardinals are what are the Cardinals, guys?
3-12.
As my son-in-law would say, that's just the Cardinals are ass. My son-in-law Dave, yeah.
All right, Cardinals are not good.
What about Joe Burrow? Like, is he staying with the Bengals or?
Well, I mean, he's making noises like he's unsatisfied, but
yeah,
this is what's going to happen with the Bengals. I think they're going to have Joe Burrow sitting in the draft room, and I think Joe Burrow is going to have 100% vote on who they draft and who they bring in.
Yeah, because
if they don't start bringing in offensive linemen.
To Shamar Stewart, he was complaining about his contract all before the year started, and he is stinky. And it's like, you just waste a first-round pick on a guy like that. So
I heard people say this is the best offensive line that Burrow's played behind.
Well, that could be, but here's the thing. I just checked the cap calculator. The Bengals can trade him if they want. They can trade him, and it only hurts them a little bit under the cap. They'd still have $62 million left, so they could trade him if they get a suitor. The problem
they could get a haul for him.
This draft is so bad.
Yeah, it is. I mean, the players in it, the quarterback. I'd say the quarterback and running back positions are bad.
Yeah. You want to look at Burrow, see Boomer Esiason. Mm-hmm. What happened to him?
Well, I think Burrow's a lot better than him.
Yeah.
I mean, look, if the Bengals came to me,
at least Boomer took him to a Super Bowl, but
Burrow did too.
Burrow, didn't he?
Unless the Seahawks win the Super Bowl this year, if the Bengals come to me and say, "Will you give us 3 first-round picks and Sam Darnold for Joe Burrow, or 2 first-round picks and Sam Darnold for Joe Burrow?" I'd say yes.
Norman Esiason.
Oh, that was his name, Norman Boomer?
So
Norman Esiason.
it just depends on how unhappy Burrow is and how much of a stinky piece.
Yeah, he said he wasn't having a lot of fun playing, and of course you can understand why. Injured and missing the
Because it's the same thing with them every year. Every year they underperform. Since that year they went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
What was that, 2019, 2020?
See Carson Palmer.
Yeah.
You're just gonna keep rattling off.
He's better than
Andy Dalton.
Carson Palmer never won a big game in his whole fucking. Joe can do it.
But Carson Palmer was a good quarterback, and they just waste their quarterbacks.
See Andrew Dalton.
The Red Rifle.
All right, we got two games left here in the week. Look, the Saints have just been winning games. Obviously, this one's against the Titans, Mike, but Tyler Shuck is showing us something. I mean,
he is. Yeah, he looks good. He's got a future. I like Shuck. Let's find out what you got there. Saints are hot, and I'm picking them this week. So
picking them this week, an early.
I already decided that, even though that's not till Thursday. I already
early tease to our prediction show. Jim, any thoughts on this one? Titans fall. I was hoping the Titans were going to win for draft seeding, but sadly, no. They were up until late.
Yeah, well, Saints opened -3, making the Titans a home dog. Imagine that. It was quickly bet down to 2.5, which would indicate that there was Titan money coming in on this game. High-scoring game. I mean, the over-under was 39.5. Final score 34-26. Saints. Yeah, Mike's right. I mean, the Saints are coming on, and I think that they think that they've got their quarterback. The question is where's Spencer Rattler going? You know, is he going to continue to ride the bench? Because when Rattler starts, I think he's 1-11.
Yeah, he looks like a career. He looks like a career backup, but you could do worse than have him.
Yeah, he's got a hell of a name, you know, but he's a backup.
Well, if they keep the same coaching staff, I don't see any reason why you don't just keep him as a backup.
Yeah, the play here was Saints all the way. I mean, Titans 9-23 against the spread, 4-12 against the spread at home. Yeah. So the play was definitely the Saints. And you like the Saints this week, Mike?
Yeah, I do, because even though they're playing.
Well, it's a division game, so they've got the Falcons.
They're playing the Falcons.
The process of elimination, they got the Falcons.
Falcons win, Falcons lose, Falcons inconsistent. You know, I think that the Saints go in and win the game. I do.
Yeah, see, the backup quarterback conversation is a little bit more spicy when not so much Tyler Shuck and Spencer Rattler. You're like, whatever. But, of course, in Cleveland, you're on your potentially on the bench. You got Deshaun Watson and Shedeur Sanders. And do we draft a QB? Like that, it is just a shit show at quarterback with energy vampirism, just media energy and sideshows. And, Tyler Shuck, you go,
Just off the top of your head, Mike, what do you think the number is?
The over-under, you mean?
No, the side. Saints Falcons. It's in Atlanta.
Oh, I think the Falcons are probably 1.5 point favorites.
Pretty close. 2.5.
Yeah, and I think the Saints are going to go in and win because I think the Falcons. What have the Falcons won? 3 in a row now.
Yeah, the last time the Falcons played the Saints, Tyler Shuck was the starting quarterback. They won 24-10 at Caesars or whatever, Mercedes-Benz.
Yeah, and
that would be New Orleans.
Who won Monday Night Football last night? The Falcons won. What does Mike Bara say? Win on Monday, lose on Sunday. I'm a sneaky bet. I'm taking the Saints.
His Zeppelin of the week. Izzy stepped away. I was just going to see if you had any thoughts on the Saints that we didn't get to, but
he just gave it to him.
Yeah, we just gave it to him. Okay. Final game on the docket. Jacksonville Jaguars. Doggone it. Browns hold their first-round pick. They were the fifth worst team last year, and now they're a 12-win team, maybe 13, knocking the Colts out of playoff contention. Jacksonville Jaguars advancing. Mike.
Liam Cohen's a good coach. Got a great future. Getting the most out of Trevor Lawrence now that they're settled in. And doing it without the running back. The second overall pick they traded up for. What's his name? I don't know.
Hunter, Travis Hunter.
Travis Hunter. So and they went in and they beat the Broncos. So really right now, I think they're about the best team in the AFC. But if the Broncos have home field advantage, I do not believe you're going to be able to go in and beat the Broncos twice at Mile High in the same season. But they look really good. They're on a hot roll. And, Trevor Lawrence is showing some people, even though he had no touchdowns, he's showing people a little bit of why he was the number 1 overall pick.
Sometimes it takes a few years to settle into it. Izzy, we'll go to you. And what's that, Mike?
It also takes the right coach.
Very true. We skipped over you. If you had anything to add on the Saints game from last time, otherwise, what do you make of the Jackson?
A high-scoring game from two pretty bad teams, but probably a good game to watch.
Gotcha. Okay. Any other thoughts?
The Jaguar. They're hot right now. It's good to be hot going into the playoffs. I'm not sure who they play next week. Do you guys know?
Who?
Maybe
the Jaguars. Yeah. Oh, they play the Titans. Okay. Well,
next week.
That should be hopefully another easy win, and that'll be what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That'll be 8 wins in a row leading into the playoffs. So that's a lot. You saw what?
As they head into the what?
The playoffs.
Oh, we're waiting on Mike for that one.
I'm sorry. I had to reload it. There we go.
We were talking about
Here we go.
Wait.
I had to load it up. There's some glitch in the software. It only plays once.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs.
Playoff
you
glitch?
Kidding me?
No.
Playoffs?
I
just hope we can win a game.
I hope you can win a game too.
I just hope we can win a game.
Jim, thoughts here? Jaguars improving.
Yeah, this game opened Jaguars 6.5, so it made the Colts a home dog. The game was played the way the number was put out 6.5. If you had the Colts, you cashed a ticket by half a point. The stats were all over the board. The Jaguars were 1-4 straight up going into Indianapolis. They were 11-0 against the spread versus the Colts going into this game. Now it's 11-1. But if you the new stat we came up with last week, teams that played Denver the week before, which the Jaguars did, and also teams that played the Broncos 3-11 straight up the week after. But if you actually played in Denver, you're now 0-8 against the spread. If you played in Denver the week before. So, even though it was a half a point's a half a point. You cash the ticket.
Yep.
So the play here was definitely Indianapolis.
Yeah, Indy got to retool. We'll see what happens with Danny Dimes after his injury. I don't know. When is he even going to play next year? How long is he out for the season?
Well,
he was playing on it.
Yeah, one was a broken leg, and then the other's a busted
ACL. Yeah, he'll miss the start of the season.
Achilles. It was an Achilles, wasn't it?
Yeah, we know who's not playing next year.
Who's that?
Philippe Rivet. It's like you said last week, Brian. The clock started all over again for the Hall of Fame.
Philippe Rivet.
Yeah,
He's got to wait another 5 years.
Who knows? Maybe Philip Rivers will just keep playing. Why not?
Maybe
Rivers is a Hall of Famer,
Philippe Rivet will have dinner with Justin Hebert.
Yeah, Justin Hebert, Philippe.
Do you think it's possible they could vote to reset the clock to get him in eligibility?
Not according to the rules. It's not the way the rules work.
Nope.
So.
All right. Well, that wraps up what we were talking about.
He's not a death's door or anything. He's 44, so.
Yeah, but he's got 1,000
Not
kids.
like he's 78. He's not going to make it to 83,
Fair enough. Okay. There's one game on the docket tomorrow in football. There's going to be highlighting and showcasing a lot of players we're going to see in the NFL next year. So I guess maybe just a quick rundown. There's 4 games in college football. Gentlemen, Ohio State plays Miami in the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. Ohio State is favored by 9.5. That is the New Year's Eve game at 7:30 tomorrow. Any thoughts on this one, Mr. Mike?
Yeah, Ohio State wins, Georgia wins, Indiana wins, and Oregon wins.
Pretty much going with, well, Oregon might be an upset.
Nah, Texas Tech's winning that one.
Okay, hold on. All right, we'll get to it. So those are your picks, your quick picks. Not a chance to overthink it. Izzy, tell us, what are your quick picks?
Yeah, Texas Tech. I'm gonna take Ohio, but I think Miami will give them a run for their money. Georgia and the Hoosiers.
Okay. All right. Why are you taking Texas Tech over Oregon?
Because JMU put up a decent amount of points on Oregon last week, and Texas Tech, their offense is very explosive, way more explosive than JMU. So it might be a shootout. I don't know, but plus there's this linebacker on Texas Tech that the Cowboys might draft, and I want to see him do good. So
all right, Mr. Jim, 4 games. What say you?
Yeah, I'm gonna give you my quote of the week before I even open my mouth on this one. All right.
All right.
Nobody will know how ignorant you are until you open your mouth and tell them. All right. So I'll leave that at that. I have no opinion. I don't know.
Jim don't know. I'm gonna pick the Buckeyes in this one. I 9.5. That's a lot, but I'll take the Buckeyes given 9.5. I think Georgia beats Ole Miss. I think Indiana beats Alabama 7. Yeah, I'll take that with the points there. And yeah, I think Texas Tech, they got a really strong defense, and I'm going to take them, even though Oregon is favored by 2.5 in this game. All right, that is what I had for today. Any final thoughts? Mr. Mike Bara, you got a show tonight if you'd like to advertise it.
Yeah, Toxically Masculine Tuesday news show at 6 Pacific, 9 Eastern. Be there for that. And other than that, I'll see you guys on Thursday. We'll go through Jim's numbers and look at the last weekend of the NFL season. It's been a fun, interesting year. Let's see what happens.
It really has. Ez'Ryel, final thought on your side?
Yeah, nothing much. Look out for the college football playoffs, I guess.
Heck yeah. And go Buckeyes tomorrow. Gentlemen, thank you for being here on Strictly Football Season 2, Episode 23. We definitely appreciate you. Hit like, hit subscribe, however you're watching. And until next time, we appreciate you. We love you. And we'll talk to you again soon. Take care, everybody. Peace.
Peace.
Hi, this is Eric Metcalf, and you're watching Unhappy Hour.
New American Media is proud to present a division of the Unhappy Hour sports show, Strictly Football.